All right, we're going to look at graphing equations on the coordinate plane. So the first equation we have is y equals 2x minus 1. And recall from our previous lessons that the standard form is y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept and m is the slope. So here it's telling me that my y-intercept is -1. So if my y-intercept is -1, it means it crosses the y-axis at -1, so my point is 0, -1. So I'm going to put a point on 0, -1. And as you can see, that is right on the y-axis. That's where it's intercepting the y-axis. All right, and then it says that the slope is 2. So if the slope is 2, remember that's 2 over 1 as a fraction. So I'm going to go up 2 and 1 to the right. So I count up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, so on and so forth. It's saying that my points are all going to be up 2 over 1. And I'm just going to connect this with a straight line. And it should look something like that. All right, so our next example is y equals -2x plus 7. So our y-intercept is 7. So that point would be 0, 7. So I'm going to plot 0, 7 on my graph. And then the slope is -2. So remember that's -2 over 1. So I count down 2 and 1 to the right. And then I connect these points with a straight line. All right, our next example is y equals -3/4 x minus 1. Right, so the y-intercept is -1. So that would be 0, -1. So I'm going to plot that. And then the slope is -3/4, so -3 over 4. So I'm going to count down 3 and 4 to the right. All right, and then I'm going to connect these points. And it should look something like that. All right, so let's say that I have the equation y equals -4. So I don't have a slope here, so the slope is 0. But I do have a y-intercept. So the y-intercept is -4. So my point would be 0, -4. So I'm going to put a point at 0, -4. Now, because this point is just intercepting the y-axis, that means that I would just have a straight horizontal line going across -4. That would look like this. All right, and if you have an equation that says x equals -6, that means that our x point is -6. So our coordinate point would be -6, 0. So I'm going to put a point at -6, 0. And this just tells us that our line is intersecting the x-axis at -6. which means that it would have to be a vertical line, and it would look like that. So this is what's called an undefined slope, only because it's a vertical line.